In this video, we're going to be talking about absolute value equations. Remember that the absolute value of a number is its distance from zero. Remember, distance cannot be negative. You can't go to a carpenter and ask for a table that's negative 5 feet long, right? Distance is always positive. So when we're finding the absolute value, we're finding its positive distance from zero. So these first examples say find the absolute value. And these lines around the 2 represent absolute value. So the absolute value of 2 is 2 because 2 is 2 units away from 0. The absolute value of negative 1 is 1 because negative 1 is 1 unit away from 0. What's the absolute value of 8? 8. And what's the absolute value of negative 3? Positive 3. So you're always going to have a positive number because our distance cannot be negative. It says when solving absolute value equations, you always want to isolate the absolute value expression first. Remember, isolate means you want to get it alone. The expression inside the absolute value symbol can be positive or negative. So you will need to set the expression equal to both to find your solutions. So all of these are going to have 2 answers. On number 1, it says solve the absolute value of x plus 2 is equal to 7. Just like how it says here, we want to isolate that absolute value expression first. So that means that I want to get the absolute value of x alone. Right now I'm adding 2 to the absolute value of x. How do I undo addition? Subtraction. So I'm going to subtract 2 on both sides. So I'm going to bring down the absolute value of x. 2 minus 2 is 0. I'm going to bring down my equal sign. 7 minus 2 is 5. So right now, I have the absolute value of x is equal to 5. So what numbers could we plug in for x to give us 5? Well, x could be equal to positive 5 because the absolute value of 5 is 5. And x could be negative 5 because the absolute value of negative 5 is 5. 5 is 5 units away from 0, and negative 5 is 5 units away from 0. So both of these are our solutions. We have 2 answers. On example 2, we have solve 2 times the absolute value of x is equal to 14. We need to get the absolute value of x alone. The absolute value of x is being multiplied by 2. How do we undo multiplication? Division. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so I'm going to bring down the absolute value of x. 14 divided by 2 is 7. So now we need to figure out what values of x, when we take the absolute value of it, will give us positive 7. Well, that means that x could be positive 7, and it could be negative 7. Because the absolute value of positive 7 is 7, and the absolute value of negative 7 is 7. So both of these are our solutions. Number 3 is a little bit different. On number 3, we have the absolute value of 2x minus 3 is equal to 1. Here, we had to get the absolute value of x alone first. But here my absolute value is already by itself. There's nothing on the outside of my absolute value symbols to move. So in this case, what you do is you take what your absolute value what's inside your absolute value symbol, and you say, okay, 2x minus 3 is equal to, and it's going to be equal to the positive and negative number on the other side. So this could equal positive 1. Because if I replace this with 1, the absolute value of 1 is 1. And we could also have it where 2x minus 3 is equal to negative 1. because if this inside here was negative 1, the absolute value of negative 1 is also positive 1. So you take what's in the inside and set it equal to the positive and negative number that you have on the outside. So again, you take this number and you split it into the positive and to the negative. And then you just solve each equation. I want to get 2x alone. So to undo subtraction, I'm going to do addition and get 2x is equal to 4. To undo multiplication, I'll do division and get x is equal to 2. On the other side, I want to get x alone or 2x alone. To undo subtraction, I'll do addition. So I'll bring down my 2x. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0. I'll bring down my equal sign. Negative 1 plus 3 is 2. To undo multiplication, I'll do division and get x is equal to 1. So my two solutions are positive 2 and negative 1. Go ahead and pause the video and try example 4. It's very similar to example 3. So what you're going to do on example 4 is take what's inside the inside, take what's on the inside of our absolute value symbols, and you're going to set that equal to both the positive and negative what you have on the outside. So I'll have 3x minus 6 is equal to positive 12. And I'll have 3x minus 6 is equal to negative 12. Again, you're just taking this number and setting 1 to the positive and 1 to the negative. I want to get 3x alone. So to undo subtraction, I'll do addition and get 3x is equal to 18. To undo multiplication, I'll do division and get x is equal to 6. On the other side, to undo subtraction, I'll do addition. Bring down my 3x, negative 6 plus 6 is 0. Bring down my equal sign, negative 12 plus 6 is negative 6. How do I undo multiplication? Division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3 and get x is equal to negative 2. So both of my solutions are positive 6 and negative 2.